Hi, so my name is Mette and I am the Business Development Manager for Branch Kiakaha here in Canterbury. And if you're watching this video, it is highly likely because you are a brand new consultant with us and you are waiting on your TM7. You might have ordered it, it's not here just yet. So I'm making a video to make sure that you are comfortable talking about the TM7, and this is just a brief introduction so that you know a little bit more about it before you've got your hot little hands on your brand new TM7. So I've been a consultant and a team leader for 5 years. I started 2020 and I've just stepped into the role as a business development manager. I have sold about 200 and almost close to 250 Thermomixes in my time as a consultant. And yeah, I absolutely love what a Thermomix is all about. So this video is not customer facing, so I would love this to be just for our field team or our new consultants, and just to give you a bit of an upper hand while you're waiting for your Thermomix to arrive. So this is our brand new Thermomix TM7, and we've got a TM6 here as well, just so that you could see the difference in kind of the footprint, because the TM7 has a footprint of about an A4 piece of paper, and because it is so flat, it's actually really cool that it can be packed into a drawer. Really neat if you're someone who has a caravan or a camper van. It will go away super easy and be packed away and stored in a drawer. And then we've got our bowl that can go in a cupboard. So really nice and compact. It's a 10-inch screen, and it is a lot quicker and easier to maneuver than the screen on the TM6. So you can choose actually as well how you would like to set up the screen when you are using it, whether you would like the focus to be on the food or if it's more on the modes. So we can cook with the TM7 both using manual cooking just like the 6, but you can also use the modes, and they are new and improved, and there's more modes coming with the TM7, which is super cool. I also want to show you this. We've got a design and technology innovation full product brochure. This is found in Unleashed, and your team leader is super happy to show you this one. And here is a lot of knowledge about the TM7. So if you want to get really close and personal and all those details are really important for you, then this is an amazing resource for you to utilize. And the other thing I would just like to say is that having a TM7 or even the TM6, any of the Thermomixes are super easy to use. So if you're waiting on the Thermomix and it might not be a huge amount of time before your start date, then just know that you'll be fine. Once you get your hands on it and you start cooking with it, it will take you a couple of days and then you'll be all over it. It's really easy to use, and even children can use it quite simply. So it's super easy. So just know that a lot of us are still, we've only had the TM7 for a few months. So just rest assured that your team leader is there to help you, and you will absolutely be fine once you get your hands on your Thermomix. And also the funny thing is, in the demos, it's mainly actually the guests that are doing the cooking, and it's always okay if you don't know everything to say, that's a really good question, I don't know the answer to that. Let me find out and get back to you. And that's actually a really good way to follow up and reconnect with those people as well. So it can actually also work in your favor, which is cool. So the other neat thing with the TM7 is that it's got a built-in glider board. So you can just move it around really simply by just lifting the front of it a little bit. Whereas with the TM6 we need to lift the whole unit if you don't have a glider board. So there's no need for a glider board with the TM7, which is really nice and easy. The other thing that is really cool with the TM7 is the bowl, and this is a fully insulated case, so this is never hot to touch like the stainless steel bowl like we've got on the TM6. This would get hot and potential burn, but here we just have a simple lever to unlock the blades that sit inside. So if I now just push this away from me, it unlocks the blades, and I can take these out, and then I can also take the inner bowl out, and that also fits easier in the dishwasher now, which is quite nice. So then I put the blade back in and just move the little bit there. So this means that it's actually a lot easier to handle for people who's got a little bit of mobility issues or might have struggled with their strength in their hands and wrists, because it's actually a bit easier with the TM7 compared to the TM6 that bit. We've got our lid, and there's also a lid cap, which is new. So this is, we no longer have a measuring cup, and it's good to notice that with the lid, when you're putting it on, you want to make sure that it sits straight over the handle, because it's a magnetic lid, so it's not, that's why we don't have the arms anymore that lock in the bowl. So it's just really making sure that you're always putting it on correctly, like straight over the handle. And then we put the measuring cup, oh, not the measuring cup, sorry, the cap lid, and then we just kind of can turn it a little bit so that it sits nice and neat in there. So the TM7 is really a cooking system. So we're kind of moving away a little bit from talking about a smart kitchen more to a cooking system, because we don't know what else is coming. But this level kind of board, it means that there might be some other things that are coming that might be really exciting. Who knows? But that gives us more possibilities. So we're talking about the TM7, yeah, as a cooking system. It's still smart and connected, but it's not a kitchen appliance. It's actually a whole cooking system. The other thing I wanted to show, and I might bring this a bit closer. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a little bit more about how it works in the kind of inner workings of the screen and how easy it is to maneuver. You can see here that there is a silver button. It's got a power button, so when you want to turn on your TM7, you just click this in and it will turn on, and it's quicker and easier than with the previous models. The other thing to know is that when you are holding down here in the corner, you will unlock the flip chart. So now you see that now I've just unlocked, and this is available on every TM7, so it's not just if it's a consultant's machine. So just holding for 10 seconds, it feels a lot longer than that when you're doing it. But here it opens up your demo flow. So this is our flip chart that we're using. So here we'll literally talk you through what we do in a demo, and there is some videos that you can show on here as well, which is over 140 really cool. So and the first thing I want you to do when you get your Thermomix is that you would like to start cooking these recipes that are in here. So I'm just going to show you. The Fruity Dream is actually a manual recipe in the demo, and your team leader will show you exactly how to do that in your practical training. But then we'll see here as well that we've got the recipes for our bread rolls. There is the pizza bianca. You've got also got the risotto. We've got the Merimi chicken pasta, or the creamy coconut chicken curry, and those are the recipes that we're using in the demo. So as soon as you get your Thermomix, make sure that you are cooking those recipes and learn how to use them. So now we're on the home screen where we have got some planned recipes. So we've got a Tex-Mex chicken casserole and black bean brownies that are planned to be done today. So now you can go here and access your week if you want to go and have a look at that, or you can go onto manual mode, and this is where we can then cook, you know, freestyle as much as we want, where we have our time, our temperature and our speed, just like we did with the TM6, just not as dials. And up here in the top right corner, and this is something I absolutely love, is showing tips. So here, and this is something to have a look at, because this will show you exactly how to use each of these screens. So here's some preparations, and it's telling you what to do, and then here is some tips of how to have success when you're cooking manually in this case is what it's talking about now. So the other thing, we've got a really easy access here to pre-clean, so that makes life really easy. You can just choose, and if I want to do a different style, I'll just move this tick around. Then when you're in here, you can search on the screen of your Thermomix, and this is one of my favorite things with the TM7 compared to the TM6, because it is a lot easier. So say, for example, we want to have a look at American pancakes. So if I'm searching for that, for example, then I can find this, and you see how nice it works, just like an iPad. So now I've got the recipe up. I can now go here and choose if I want to do a 6, 12 or 24 piece serving size. I get to see all of the ingredients and the steps, and yeah, what things you might need to use when you're cooking this recipe. And if I now just click start, it will take me straight into the recipe. So now I'll go next. If I've added the butter, and then we will just push play and melt the butter in this case. So super easy, just as easy as it was with the TM6, if not easier. And then I also have here access to collection. So now I've obviously searched for American pancakes, so now it's giving me all sorts of American things that I want to have a look at. And here's a number of different recipes as well, which is pretty cool. So really nice and easy. Then if I go into to here, I'm clicking on that recipe book on the right hand side. I'll get to my recipe. So here is my recently cooked. Here is my bookmarks, and then there is also my my collections, for example, and my created recipes. So they're all sitting in that cookbook or collection button. The next one we're going to go to is our modes. So this is where a lot of action happens. So this is where we've got, and a lot of the modes are similar to the TM6, but for example, we've got our dough mode. And this is a mode that often we'd obviously use in a recipe, but you can absolutely use it on its own. And here we've got some tips again up in the top right corner, where it's showing you how to best use this mode. The browning mode is new for the TM7, so this is where it will tell us, we will get to choose, because we're using this manually now, so I get to choose if I want to do it for, say, 10 minutes or less. And if I want to do it at 160 degrees, and if I want it to be gentle, or I can choose intense. So if you want to do some wok style vegetables, for example, or want to caramelize some onion, then you might use intense, but you might also go and find a recipe and use it that way. Steaming is a new mode as well with the TM7, where we are steaming vegetables using our Varoma. So if I go now and show tips, it will tell us exactly what we need to do. So we need to place 500 grams of water in the mixing bowl, and 250 grams is water is necessary for every 15 minutes. So then we just follow the instructions here. Turbo mode is a great mode if you have got something stuck on our blades, for example, you just want to flick them off, or if you want to just mill something real quick. Blend mode is a pretty self-explanatory mode. It comes as you get to choose the time, but it comes preset on 30 seconds, speed 8. And then if I want to weigh things in, I can just get straight to the scales, and then I can just start weighing. And it actually tears itself when I'm taking the lid off, which is a small but mighty function that I absolutely love with the TM7. Egg boiler mode. This is one of our most loved modes. I didn't know how much I wanted to get my eggs perfectly cooked before the Thermomix. But so now we can just choose which type of egg we will do or would like to get out of it, and it was telling us roughly how long time. And again, we've got tips up the top corner of how to make the most of this mode. Next one is open cooking, also a brand new mode for the TM7. This is a really cool mode where we get to, for those of us who love cooking and we want to cook whatever it is that we would normally cook, and being able to taste and see what's going on in there. And this mode will be the blades aren't turning, and you will be able to take your lid off at any time while this is cooking, which is absolutely phenomenal. So up here again, we've got some tips if you want to learn a little bit more about this up here as well. And here is a nice explanation as well of how this works. So then next one is our kettle mode. This is a great mode where you get to set exactly the temperature you want of the water, or this is a mode that I often use if I'm making like say hot chocolate for my kids, because then I might do that on 60 or 70 degrees. And then the Thermomix will tell me exactly when the water, or the milk in that case, has hit that temperature, which is super nice. No more boiled over pots on the stove. Next one is warm up, which is kind of similar in that respect, but this is a great mode if you want to gently heat up some soup or anything, kind of a curry or something liquidy. I absolutely love. I use this all the time in winter to heat up something for lunch. It's really, really neat. And a nice way to avoid having like pumpkin soup on your ceiling from when that starts boiling really hard. Next one, we've got a rice cooker. This is another really fabulous mode, and again we've got our tips where it will show us exactly how to do that, and telling us how much rice and oil compared to the amount of water that we're using, so really neat as well. Thickening, this is also one of my favorite modes where we're doing custards, curds, hollandaise, béarnaise, all of those kind of things. So it's a great, useful mode, and one of those modes that a lot of restaurants and professional chefs love to use the Thermomix for, because we get perfection with this. And a really cool thing up here in the tips is that it will actually tell you that if you're doing, for a temperature guide, if you're wondering which temperature to use, if you want to do 80 or 100, then it will tell us here that 80 degrees is when we're using egg as a thickening agent, and we want to do 100 degrees when we're using flour or starch instead of egg as a thickening agent. So depending on what you're doing, you want to make sure that we get that right. But also, if you want to do like a lemon curd, for example, you can just go and find a guided recipe as well. Slow cook, this is pretty self-explanatory, so you just choose how long time and what temperature you want to do that to. Again, there is tips up there if you want to learn a little bit more about it. And then we've got fermentation. This is a fantastic mode, and actually a mode, if saving money with your Thermomix is important to you, it's a great mode because we can make yogurt really easily just overnight. So here again, we can go up to our tips and find out how we are going to use it. And here is also a way to explain it. A really great thing with the fermentation mode is actually using it in winter to help prove our dough a little bit quicker, which is cool. So we can use the varoma and the fermentation mode to do that. Sous vide. I wonder if you know what sous vide is. It's a French and kind of a fancy way of saying cooking low and slow in the bag. So this is a very nice way to get tender steaks that you kind of cook them in here low and slow, and then you just sear them in a pan. Or salmon. I've made strawberries in here. It's been really cool. There's a way of doing sous vide eggs as well. So there's lots of cool recipes, and this is something for those people who love cooking and are really keen to take their cooking next level in the kitchen. This is a fantastic function. Then we've got the blade cover and peeler. This is something that is the same for the TM5 and the TM6. So if you already have one, you can use that in here. So this is just to peel your potatoes or whatever beetroot, whatever thing you want to peel, you can peel in here. Great for peeling some garlic. If you've got a lot of garlic that you want to do, say for your tandoori paste maybe, then this is a great function to use as well. So here we've got it was showing us in the tips exactly how to put that blade cover and peeler in, and here are some great tips for this as well. Then the grating, slicing and spiralizing, these are modes that we aren't using yet because we are waiting for the Cutter Plus to be released, but that is more to come, but it is coming at the end of 25 or early 26, I believe. So here we've got also the scales. So they are nicer on the side so that you can now just weigh easily either on top of the lid or into the bowl, depending on what you would like to do. So I think that is giving us a little bit of an intro into the TM7. Right, so there's just a last little bit of kit that I am going to show you. So your TM7 comes with the butterfly whisk, works pretty much exactly the same as in the TM6. It is a maximum speed 4, and it actually says it's maybe a bit hard to see on there, but it says 4 on it, just as a nice wee reminder that this is speed 4 at the top. And we are using the spatula, the butterfly whisk. It goes inside the bowl, and then you just kind of tuck it underneath the blades, and that works perfectly. So great for whipping cream, or obviously you're using it in your Fruity Dream. When you're going to demos, make sure that you bring along your butterfly whisk and your spatula. It's quite easy to forget. So make sure you have a system of, even if that is a post-it note on your bag or something, so that you don't forget these things, because they are gold. The other thing that what I didn't mention about the blade is that it's got one blunt side, which is the back, and then it's got a sharp side at the front. So you can choose if you want to move the blades on reverse or kind of normal speed, depending on if you want to stir or chop, or if you want to pull some. Really beautiful way to pull some chicken is to put it in, you know, kind of 4 or 5 seconds on speed 4. On reverse will pull that chicken beautifully. So that's a really nice function. So let's see if I wanted to. The last piece is our amazing Varoma, and this has got 45% more capacity than for the TM5 and the TM6, and the total capacity of the TM7 is about 6.8. So it's 2.2 in the bowl, and then it's 4.4 maybe. I can't do the maths while I'm talking. So if I wanted to steam something, so with the beautiful, either with that beautiful steaming mode, or if I've got it in a recipe, I just pop the lid on without the lid cap, and we pop our TM7 on top, and then we can put things in the bowl. We can also use the tray, and then it's nice with the TM7 tray because it's a little bit more kind of rectangular, which means that it's easier to fit things in than when it was the oval tray on the TM6. And then we've got our lid, and this is made so that it maximizing the steam function, which is really cool. So you'll be able to do a lot of steaming and really well in the TM7, which is awesome. The last thing is our spatula, and this spatula is really nice in the way that it it can actually catch more food in the bowl because it's longer, but it is a tiny bit soft. So just be careful not to make sure that you're always using it clockwise, not anti-clockwise in the bowl, because if you're doing anti-clockwise and you're bumping it too much onto the blades, then you might actually damage it. So make sure that we try and avoid that as much as possible, so that you don't get cuts in your spatula. But it's really neat. And the other, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the simmering basket. Right, so here is our simmering basket. So looking the same, just a bit blacker. And there's actually a little hole here, so I can put my spatula in to help open the lid if it's got some really hot rice, for example, in here. The other thing that's really cool, you see that there's a hook on the spatula and there is a hole in here. It's a slightly different angle than from the TM6, but so if I've got, say, my simmering basket sitting inside the TM7 and it is really hot stuff in here, I just hook in with my TM7 spatula, and then I can lift out and then kind of pour that food over somewhere else, which is really nice. So it's just like the TM6, just very thought through. It is an incredible machine, the TM7. So to finish off this video, I'm so stoked that you're on board, and if you are coming because you love your Thermomix and you are bringing a TM7 on board, and you might have used yours and know all about it, if you're brand new and you have come on board on the Earn program to earn your TM7, then good on you. That's one of the best decisions I ever did, to come on board, and I was just going to earn my Thermomix and leave, but that was 5 years ago, and I have absolutely loved my time with Thermomix. So welcome. Don't worry if you don't feel like you know everything yet. Hopefully this video will help you get a little bit more confident in what a TM7 is all about, and so you can at least talk to people about it until you've got your hands on your own TM7. And remember, when you get your TM7, the first thing to do is to start cooking, and ideally cook some of those demo recipes so that you're feeling confident and know what you're doing with those. But best of luck, and I'm looking forward to meet you in one of the training sessions, or online or in person.